Hi everyone, Peter Liciaga, your education activist here, and I got an email today from a parent that I just want to respond to because I think it's important enough where I need to stop and just take a couple of minutes and just give some guidance and some direction. It's just my professional opinion as a martial arts educator and also a parent, and I want to go ahead and share this. Now, I did take the name out this way. No one knows who the student is. It's one of our students, but no one will know who it is, except maybe the student and the parent, that is. So it's very important that that I think I share this because it's a concern that many parents have. And let me go ahead and share this email with you. Now, I changed the name. As you can see, that's just something I put in my WordPress here. But anyway, this is what it says. It says, some of the first grade kids had been in the blacktop playing different games using a hula hoop. My child and his friends had been pushing the hula hoop to see whose would go steadily furthest distance. During this process, my child's hula hoop hit another kid's group hula hoop accidentally. A boy in the other group rushed and hit my child with his hula hoop, thinking my child interrupted their game. My child started to cry, and the aide helped my child, and then he was sent to the nurse's office. Though my child was not badly hurt, and even the boy was made to say sorry for the incorrect behavior, I told my child he needs to defend himself, and these things cannot be well planned before it happens, and that he needs to learn how to act immediately based on what the situation demands. I kindly request you or Master Liciaga to address him on how he needs to act quick and protect himself rather than cry. Now, as a parent, there's a couple of things going on here, and first of all, you got to look at the situation, what happened there. They were playing a game, and something happened, and one child's perspective of what happened, and the other child's perspective of what happened obviously was not the same, and one child responded in one way without thinking. The other child responded another way, their way, without thinking. So there's for me, there's a level of maturity here socially, how to interact when something happens, and then the thinking and a thought process with respect to what happened. And so also there's the issue of these kids are not alone where they are. There's also supervisors there, and the question is how did they set up the situation and the event, and with the potential of accidents or something like this happening. So there's a lot of things going on in this situation, okay? And so both children, everyone involved in the situation, they have to realize where they are. Now, this month we're talking about environment in our ABCs of self-defense. Know where you are. Now, both children knew prior to the game, to this event, that they were basically in a safe environment. It wasn't an environment where it's really dangerous that they had to protect themselves against potential danger. Now, the supervisor could have, maybe they did and the children don't remember, could have told them that, look, we're going to play this game, accidents do happen, so make sure that you keep your eyes open and be aware of what you're doing, and remember, so you're going to bump into each other, and that might happen, and so the potential of that happening, accidents happening, will happen, but the point is the environment was a safe environment. So that's one thing that we have to help our children understand, that they were in a safe environment. Now, accidents do happen. Now, the child that went and hit the other child with the hula hoop actually was maybe they forgot them. They got upset. So we have to help that child understand that their response to what happened was incorrect. And I know that down over here it says that the child did apologize for and I'm glad they said this, incorrect behavior. Okay, and so that was his response to something that happened, and it was, again, this is first graders, his immature response to something that happened in that safe environment where accidents will happen. And then, so that was an immature social response to something that happened. Now, the response for the other child, was tears. They cried and they were upset, and rightfully so. They were hit and they were hurt because someone that they were playing with within the environment, turned on them from his perspective and hit them. And so that one child that got hit really was not in a mindset where they had to protect themselves against somebody that was maliciously after them and to hurt them. And so the question now here arises that, did either child have to be in the mindset where they have to defend themselves against an attack? My thing is no, they were not. It was just something that happened. And so the question is now it comes to mind that how can we help children to know and to act quickly to protect themselves and rather than cry. Now, I don't think the issue is to cry or not to cry. Hey, you can still protect yourself when you're crying. So I think it's important that we let our children know that it's okay to cry because they were hurt. It's okay to be upset. But the question is what should one do when they see something is happening? And so when the question is when one child feels like they're being attacked, so the other child coming at them, what do they do? That's such a short period of time when something happens. It happens so fast. And the one thing that we have to help our children do, and this happens through training, this is what I do with anyone that works, that comes to one of my workshops with scenario-based training. We really help the children, help our students to act quicker, and that comes through training. And because at first, they see something happening, they go through a thought process, and then they move to action. Many times that thought process takes a long time. They're probably saying to themselves, well, what's happening here? This is what's happening. And they're thinking, meanwhile, all this stuff is happening. Before they know it, they are hurt or they have been assaulted. So scenario-based training is what we want to do on a training floor, and this is how we want to encourage our children, is to practice through role-playing, through physical training, how to move and respond quickly. Now, in this particular case, him just saying, stop, get back, stop. If he can train when somebody's coming toward him in this kind of environment, in a playful environment, and one child is upset, can a first grader have the mental capacity to say, wait, stop, you're coming at me, don't come any closer, and put his hands up in a stopping motion. And if we can train him to do that, that might be helpful. But again, we're presupposing that they have the mental capacity to understand what's going on in the environment that they are in, and then to respond quickly. Now, as they get older, they'll get better, but it does come with training. Okay, let me just share with you guys some of the things that we have on our website. We have self-defense here. When you go to our yourmartialartstraining.ning.com, you can also get there by typing in yourmartialartsonline.com. Get there same way, the same page. And once you get there, you just go to self-defense, and it's going to give you a definition, of our rights to self-defense, the legal definition of defense and self-defense. Now, every single one of us has a right to protect ourselves and our property from injury or destruction. So that is our right. So we want to really go over this for ourselves so that we understand the legal definition of defense and self-defense and our rights. Okay, and then help our children understand this. Now, first grader, this might be a little bit too much for them. So it's very important that we as parents and educators help our children to understand, the environment where they are. And then the ABCs of self-defense, I highly recommend that you go to this website, show this to your children, and go through it. And the first thing is avoiding potentially dangerous situations, being aware and knowing where they are. Be calm, and breathe, and talk to them about this. And we continue to share this in our Black Belt Champions program. Okay, communicate with confidence and respect. Okay, teaching our children through role playing and continually training them to do this, and that they will get it one day, hopefully sooner rather than later. Then to help them to not make the situation worse by taking it and escalating it to a point where it becomes more dangerous for them or everyone else that's involved. And this month we're talking about the environment, and so how the environment can be to their advantage. Like, for instance, at what point did the one child see the other child, get upset? And then at what point did they realize the child was running at them, ready to hit them and eventually hit them? And so what was the environment like? What could they have done? So I would recommend going through, replaying the environment, what they could have done to protect themselves. Okay, the next thing is that to simply tell them to stop. That's what we'll be working on next month. Is to it says F standing for yelling, fire instead of help. What they could have done is just say stop, using their words, stop. And more often than not, the other person will stop. And then the next thing, once that's done, get away. Get to the teacher, find safe zone, and to move to a very safe area. And then, of course, if all else fails, hit hard, hit fast, and get out of there. Okay, and so that's the escalation. But it's really important that we help our children understand the thought process in this. And I have to emphasize that we parents really first have to understand the thought process, and then share this with our children. And we have to say it at their level, really considering their age and our child's ability to understand. And some children in first grade may not understand. So as parents, we really have to work hard and do our job to help them understand how they can protect themselves, what the signs are, what words they are to use. And we have this all in our training, and that's why we have this resource site here. Okay, you can also look at the other resources here and use them to help you. Bullying resources. And I don't see this particular situation I was shared today as a bullying situation. It was not a bullying situation. Okay, and but I would definitely recommend look at these resources, and I hope this is helpful. And let us know if there's anything more than we can do. This is Peter Liciaga, your education activist. And I look forward to your responses and your recommendations. If you have any resources, please share them with us. Take care. Have a great day.